why are you thinking Xbox is doing better right now than what they
Well,
have done in previous years? Why isn't PlayStation selling more as well? Like, what's
well,
happening?
it seems like PlayStation has been, for a while selling a ton. I don't know. Is it getting to a point? Like, I always think of these weird things when you have a product that's selling. Like at a certain point, a lot of people are going to have the product, right? And then maybe at this point now, people are like, well,
So, like, both groups are maybe just as big, and it just
yeah,
happens to be the first group bought more at first, and now the second group's buying more now, and they're
I,
kind of similar anyway. Is that what
I,
you're getting at?
I think that a lot of people that buy one want the other at some point as well, and I think probably more people were into getting a PS5 at first. Maybe there was more demand for it. Fine.
3 or 4 years ago, there was like 2 to 3 on PlayStation fans. You wouldn't even have a split audience. You would have dominating PlayStation just by the numbers of the people who are interested in like a
Right.
PS4 compared to an Xbox One. So
Sure.
why is that different now?
Obviously Microsoft is making some good moves. They're winning a lot of appeal from your standard consumer, especially the people who are like hardcore into it. I think they really are into what Xbox is doing right now because they're so user friendly. Everything's so consumer based, which I think is pulling a lot of people in. Now, for the person who doesn't really follow the stuff the way me and you do, honestly, it could be a number of things, man. There's so many variables.
Do you
That
think
it could
it's
be.
that Activision bit?
I
Because
think,
so if I'm a person and I watch Fox News, CNN, whatever, just standard
sure,
news stuff, and I
sure.
hear a story of like, oh, the people who make Call of Duty, Microsoft's buying them, and am I going to this level on like the base person being like, hey, maybe I should buy an Xbox? And they can look up because there's CNN stories about Game Pass or something,
Sure, sure.
and maybe they
Oh,
may know like, oh, hey, if I could play Call of Duty and not have to pay $70 or something. Like, do you think
yeah.
things like that are what's causing the shift?
I think Game Pass definitely, and I just have like an anecdote. Like I know this woman that I work with, and she's like maybe in her late 40s. She doesn't know anything about video games, but she talks to me all the time about. She's like, I got this pass thing. I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, I got my son an Xbox Series S, and I got him this pass, and there's all these games on it. She's like, I never have to buy him a game again. I'm like, oh, okay. So this is kind of I could see because she wasn't gonna buy him anything at all, and then
Oh,
that
this is
whole
a
thing.
good parent thing. A parent
Yeah,
could buy their
yeah,
kid this and not have to worry about, look, just play what's on that service, and I don't have to worry about
yep,
buying you stuff
yep.
anymore.
That's exactly what happened with her.
That's it.
And
Yeah.
I could totally
Okay.
see so many. And then she called me one day. She's like, "Hey, my son really wants to play the new MLB game because he's big into baseball, right?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Is that on the service?" And I looked it up for her. I'm like, "Yeah, it's on there." She's like, "Oh, great." She's like, "I'm renewing the service for longer."